I think evil thoughts, and I've got evil motives and evil intentions. And yet still in that moment, we serve a God who loves us in spite. What people want to hear in this season is not the message you've prepared. It's the raw, unadulterated honesty that says the gospel was a son who was a king who was born in the manger, surrounded by the dirtiest and filthiest of what you could imagine. Because that's what my life was when Jesus was born into it. He's a king, and yet he still made himself to be my Savior. And he's a king, and though I don't have a place to house him that's got it all together, he still came and made his home in me. And he's a king, and even when I couldn't get it all together, he didn't wait for me to fix it and get it right to get to him. He came and found me where I was. You see, it's the understanding that if you knew the depth of which he pulled me up from, then you'd understand my worship. Then you'd understand my praise. And now you can understand my story, because my story is not about the prim and the proper. My story is not about the coat on the outside. My story is about the leprosy that was living on the inside of Adam, and a God who not only came to restore and to heal and to love me, not simply to cover up and just hide what all my stuff was like, but actually could resurrect and restore what nobody else could heal and was a death sentence. It is a God who loves me anyway, and even when I see it. Because James tells us that the Bible, his word, is like a mirror. It reflects, it shows us who we genuinely are beneath the cloak and beneath the surface, even in that moment. And yet I can say to God, and yet you love me anyway. This Thanksgiving, when somebody's alone, and this December, people tell us that it's not only the most joyous time of year for many, it's the loneliest time of the year for many. Remember this moment when they don't know what freedom looks like, and they don't know how to get it together, and they don't know how to get it right. And in that moment, don't put on your cloak of religiosity. Don't get your best sermon out. Don't get your worry about your theology being all right, and whether you're pre-trib or post-trib or mid-trib, or when you're in that moment, reach beneath what everybody else sees and pull out your stuff. And remind that person sitting across the desk from you, or across the lunch table from you, or across the dining room table from you, or across the living room from you, and remind the only difference between me and you is that I encountered a Savior that knew that I had been covering up my stuff and my leprosy as good as anybody else. And yet when he saw me, he pointed it out, not to embarrass me, but so that he could restore me, so that he could revive me, so that he could resurrect me, so that he could tell me that even though he saw me at my worst, still he loved me anyway.